I am Aky Karim for British Boxers website, www.britishboxers.co.uk, and I've got the pleasure of being joined by none other than Anthony $1 Million Crolla. Now, firstly, can you just tell us a little bit about what you're doing here?
No, I'm just here tonight. Obviously, the Gallaghers show. I know Tommy well, Pat well, and I know some of the kids who are fighting tonight. And listen, it's nice to be asked to come down, and so I've come down here now to support some of the local lads.
And it's, I mean, I've seen you've been inundated with fans there as well. Like, how does it feel to have like that sort of following where people just come up to you and you know?
Listen, I'm thankful for it. Honestly, everything. Listen, it wasn't long ago that I was one of those young kids at an amateur show, going up to a professional. I was speaking to Robin Reid before, and I remember getting my picture took with him at an amateur show at Brooklyn's Trading Labour Club in Sale all those years ago. And I want to think back now, it was about 18 years ago. So
I know he's asking for your picture.
No, but I mean, listen, and hopefully some of these kids fighting tonight, they're doing the same in another 10 years or so. Yeah.
And how important is it to have like a good amateur setup in the UK for our fighters coming through so they can turn over?
No, so listen, your amateur, your schooling, the sort of your fundamentals in a way, it counts for an awful lot. I mean, you look at the success of the Team GB. I know this year we got a few medals, but we qualified. I think it was the best. It was the best we've ever done in getting qualifiers there. It was just some of them got very tough draws. Otherwise, we would have come back with more medals. But listen, I think we've got a great setup. And listen, these, like I say, it only seems a few years ago that I was one of these at the amateur show. But it's very different. But these are some of the best times of your career.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks for that. And also, let's just touch on your career if you don't mind. Obviously, last time out, disappointing night for you. I mean, you showed though that you could mix it at the highest possible caliber, elite level against Jorge Linares. Have you come to terms with that that night yet?
Yeah. Listen, I come to terms with that night. 48 hours or so after the fight, I accept it, and that's what I do. I lost a close fight. I just come up short against an elite fighter, and there's no excuses from me. I had a great camp. I felt the fight was going really well. I thought round six when he caught me with a shot played a big part in it. But in the fight changing, even though I won the next round, I think he just took a bit out of me for later on in the fight, and every credit to Jorge Linares. But so I could take to it. It wasn't like, I think that I know where I went wrong and why I come up short, so I can accept it. It wasn't like I say, it would have underperformed, it would have been eating away at me. Like I say, I'm man enough to say I got beat by the better man on the night in a close fight, but the right man won.
And you've got this immediate rematch clause. Now, obviously, there's no like fixed date or anything yet. We don't need to talk about dates or anything. But was that always going to be what was going to happen? Always going to be the rematch, or were you never tempted to take any other fights in between?
I think the rematch is there, and obviously we're in talks now. And if it's going to be obviously for the ring, it's the greatest prize in the sport, so it's hard to turn that down, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's but listen, there's plenty of big fights out there, but obviously the fight I would like is the Jorge Linares fight again. It was a great fight last time, and like I say, I go away, make the improvements so that I can, and believe that with those improvements I can change the result as well. It'll be another tough fight, but I believe I can make the result different. Like I say, there's plenty of big fights in that division, and that's why I'll be involved in the big fights.
In terms of, you just mentioned there, in terms of like actually overcoming this decision, I mean, I think Linares proved he was better than we thought in many ways. Well, we always knew he was a brilliant, didn't we? But
yeah, he didn't surprise me at all. Listen, I've been a fan of Jorge Linares for years, that was another thing when you said one thing I could take is I didn't lose to a poor Jorge Linares. I thought I lost to a Jorge Linares who was, right up there with some of his best performances. So I can take a little bit of, comfort in that. Listen, I don't, like I said, I don't celebrate losing, and I'm not happy to lose. That's not how you should be.
No.
But you can take a little bit of comfort from that.
When you look back at your career, let's go a few years back, and people were saying, oh, maybe Anthony Crolla is a British level fighter. They didn't expect you to beat John Murray. They didn't expect you to beat Barroso. Didn't expect you to beat Perez. You beat him the first time as well, even though you didn't get the decision. When you look at that, are you just like in awe of how far you've actually come?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like you say, then when I think back, you were mentioning about it's British. There was a time when people didn't think it was British level.
Back
and that's not disrespect to anyone. Of course. Like some people thought English title was my absolute limit if I could reach that. So it's been one hell of a roller coaster, and there's still plenty left yet. But I've got to put it down, like you say, to the team around me. Joe's put endless hours. But those early days building me back up from that. You know, the Gary Sykes loss when people had ripped me off when I'd lost to earlier in my career also. So I've listened. It's been tough at times, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
And what's it like working in the Gallaghers Gym? Because you're surrounded by young, hungry, competitive champions, and you know.
You see it. There's a real good atmosphere in there, and every lad, genuinely every lad in there gets on with every other lad. And there's not two lads who don't get on, so the atmosphere is great. But everyone's always pushing each other to get the best out of each other, and it's not just that like you come there on certain days and the sparring, there's quality sparring. You know, the Colliers come up a lot as well for Linden. They come up a lot, and the other lads as well. Mark Efron, big talent, and but not just that, other gyms come from sometimes around the country, and you see it's great. It's a great gym to be in. It's a great gym to be in. Great bunch of lads to be around.
Fantastic. And just finally, we're obviously at this amateur show here, Colliers and Moston amateur show.
Yeah.
Have you got any advice to give to the any amateur fighters turning over, even if they're not turning over, just amateur fighters setting off on a career in boxing?
You know what? Enjoy it more. I always think back now. I used to get more nervous as an amateur than as a pro. I wish I would have enjoyed the nights a little bit more as an amateur. But I always say, if you're just starting off as well, you do the basics, you drill the basics time and time again. I always say, I've always been told your jab's your most important punch in boxing, but it's just about drilling the basics over and over.
Yeah, fantastic. Listen, I really appreciate spending some time with you and you know, talking to us. We wish you the best in your rematch with Jorge Linares.
Good to speak to you.
You too, man. Take care. Listen, I'm here with Anthony $1 Million Crolla. He's going to regain the title. I'm Aky Karim. It's British Boxers website, www.britishboxers.co.uk. Power!